afternoon, El Dorado. Welcome back from spring break. I hope you had a really nice, relaxing break and that you had a chance to read a bunch of books with your family. It's so nice to see you. Welcome to Lunchtime Live. We are starting a new theme this month, and it's all going to tie into a bunch of other stuff that is happening. So as we approach April, it's not quite April yet, but the month of April is School Library Month. And that is an opportunity for us to just celebrate the amazing things our school library here at El Dorado has to offer. And part of that is going to be the big readathon event, which will be shared with you this week as well. So the theme this month is going to be all around school libraries, all around reading, and trying to connect all those different pieces that are happening right now. So I'm really happy you're here today. Our book for today is called How to Read a Story. And I thought this was a great way to kick off our theme for the month. This is all about how to really get the most out of reading a story, especially with somebody else. And this actually connects pretty nicely to some of our readathon activities, which get you reading in all kinds of different environments and different situations with different people and different types of books. So today we're going to read the book, How to Read a Story. And this is by the author Kate Messner, who actually writes a lot of other books we have in our library here. And it's illustrated by Mark Siegel. Before we read our story, I always like to give you an opportunity to get to know the author a little bit. So I'm going to show you Kate Messner's responses to a couple of questions from an interview that she did a while back. I hope you enjoy.
I'm Kate Messner, the author of Fergus and Zeke. Gosh, I was one of these kids who, I was the youngest of four. And so even before I had any clue how to read books or make letters, I saw my older brothers and sisters doing homework, with their pencils. And I would sit with a pencil and pretend to be doing homework. So somebody would call me for dinner and I would say, I'm sorry, I have to finish this essay. I was like 3. So I always pretended to write even before I could write. My first memory of actually, writing a book that I was really proud of came when I was about 7. And I'd been gorging on shark books all summer long at the library and decided that I had to write my own shark book. So I called it Shark, Terror of the Sea. It was a page long. It listed all my favorite shark facts. And I made a cover for it. My mom put it on the fridge. So that was my first sort of published book, I guess. For about a month after that, anytime my mom and dad had company for dinner, I would just wait for the doorbell to ring and stalk the dinner guests. And then I would run to the door and say, hey, welcome to our house. May I take your coat? No, please come to the refrigerator and read my book right now. So it's different depending on the story that I've written. I love to hear about families that are cuddled up on the couch together, reading my picture books. One of my favorite things, I think, is hearing about a brand new reader, somebody who's just learning to read for themselves for the first time. And when your book is the first book that a kid reads all by himself or all by herself, that's pretty amazing. I mean, that's magic. I remember that moment when the light bulb went on for me. I was the youngest of 4 kids and everybody could read except me. So I spent the first years of my life chasing people around the house with books. Like, can you read to me? Will you read to me, please? And I remember when I started to figure it out, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be able to do this by myself. And so for me, that moment when the light bulb goes on, to have your book be the book where the light bulb goes on and a kid figures that out, that's probably the most memorable thing. My least favorite rule to follow: no ice cream before dinner. I have to admit, I was on my way home from a book signing last night and I stopped for ice cream, and on the way home that was dinner. So I'm still not good at following it all these years later. So Zeke is pretty close to my heart.
And as we read this book together, I want you to think about how you like to read. Do you like to read alone? Do you like to read with somebody else? Do you like to read indoors or outdoors? What is your favorite comfy place to read? Do you like to read in different voices for different characters? Think about all those different pieces as we read. And Kate Messner is going to share some of her best tips for being an awesome, fun, engaged reader. So let's go ahead and read How to Read a Story by Kate Messner, illustrated by Mark Siegel. And of course, this book is available in our El Dorado library for you to check out and enjoy as well. Step 1. Find a story. A good one. It can have princesses and castles, if you like that sort of thing, or witches and trolls, as long as they're not too scary. Step 2. Find a reading buddy. A good one. A buddy could be older or younger, or a person your age, or maybe not a person at all. Make sure your reading buddy is nice and snuggly, and make sure you both like the book. If you don't agree, go back to step 1. Sometimes it takes a few tries to find just the right book. I love that tip because there's so many great books out there. If you're not enjoying a book, you should go find one that you do. Step 3. Find a cozy reading spot. Outside is fun, but not if it's very cold. Unless you have thick woolen blankets and hats and scarves and cups of steaming hot cocoa. And not if it's very hot. Unless you have trees to shade you from the sun, a hammock to catch cool breezes, and tall glasses of icy lemonade. Inside is good. Couches are cozy. So are chairs big enough for 2. Just be careful not to get stuck. That happens to me all the time with my dog, Raina. Step 4. Look at the book's cover. Can you guess what it's all about? Read the title. That might be a clue. The Princess, the Dragon, and the Robot. That sounds like a pretty interesting story to me. Step 5. Open the book. This is the exciting part. Read the story in a loud, clear voice. Not too slow and not too fast. You can point to words if you like, but you don't have to do that. Once upon a time. Step 6. When the characters talk, whatever's being said, say it in a voice to match who's talking. I will save the kingdom. I am the most powerful in all the land. I'm hungry for lunch. Soon the castle will be mine. Beep. Step 7. No matter what you read, hold the book so your buddy can see the pictures. Buddies get impatient when they can't see well. Speaking of which, it looks like there's a little bit of a glare on our page. I hope you can see okay. Step 8. If there are words you don't know, try sounding them out or looking at the pictures to see what makes sense. They were afraid the dragon would burn down the the castle. If you need a break, you can pause for a minute and talk to your reading buddy to predict what might happen next. Will the castle catch on fire? Will the princess tame the dragon? Will the robot marry the princess? Will the horse make friends with the dragon? Will the dragon eat them all for lunch? Step 9. When you get to the exciting parts, make your voice sound exciting too. Who dares disturb me in my cave? The dragon growled. Oh dear, oh no! The robot was so scared, all his metal parts rattled. What would they do? But the princess tackled that dragon and held him down. You must promise you'll leave our kingdom in peace. When you and your buddy can't stand it a second longer, turn the page to read how things work out. The dragon promised and decided it was better being friends. And they all lived happily ever after. Step 10. When the book is over, say, "The end." And then, if it was a really good story, go right back to the beginning and start all over again. The end. I hope you enjoyed that book about how to read a book. Now, I know most of you know how to read books, but there are some ways that you could really make the most out of your time reading and to have the most amount of fun possible doing so. And if you've joined me for Lunchtime Live before, I like to end our readings with a small activity. And here's your simple activity for today. I want you to choose a book that you have at home, any book. And I want you to follow all of the steps from the book we just read together today. I want you to read in different voices. I want you to find a reading buddy and a cozy place to read. I want you to try to make your voice exciting when you read. All those different things that we saw in our story today. Just give it a try and let me know how it goes. Let me know who you read with, where you read, what you read, how you read it, and how it went for you. And then I want you to start thinking about getting ready for our readathon, which is going to be announced to you in class this week. And guess what? I am so excited because starting this week, friends, you will be able to come down to the library again, browse our amazing books, check out books every week. You can have up to 2 books at a time. I'm really excited to see you down here. I have lots of new books for you to explore. I've been rearranging parts of the library to make it even cozier for you. So happy School Library Month, happy Readathon Month, and welcome back. Thanks for joining me today. We'll see you soon.